So these Sony properties are coming out, whether you like it or not. But yes, Deadpool 3 is coming out this year. But I think there's a lot of intertwining that they're trying to do. And I think Madam Web, whether the story in the actual movie itself is good, I think they're going to try to use that character as the live action connection between the Spider Realm and the MCU's like Tree of Life. Because you saw with What If, the tree is now the way that they're displaying the multiverse. And they did the same thing with Loki, and like so it looks like that's very like how they're going to stick to the MCU's multiverse is this tree imagery. Now, if you look at into across the Spider-Verse, when Miguel's talking about the Spider-Verse, this web sits on top of the tree. So, with that being said, if you have Madam Web that can access these points and connect all these together, then you're actually able to have a live action Spider Verse that makes sense. Whether again, whether Madam Web in this wild movie that I can't believe is actually coming out is good or not is neither here nor there. I think the character is what they're leaning on to bridge all of their gaps between like the Craven the Hunter movies, the Morbius films, all of these Sony properties, because not only does Sony own everything Spider-Man, they have that leverage over Marvel. So they can greenlight whatever they want, and they can either do one of two things. They can force a buyout by making all of these shitty movies, right? And like really try to make that the case for them and be like, no, if you want these characters back, we're going to keep beating them up until you want to pony up for them. Or two, they can finally lean into each other and work together, which we saw a little bit with the Venom post-credit scene at the end of Far From Home.
That's what I wanted to bring up. And what drives me nuts about Sony is I feel like they have these great ideas, because I would love if the Tom Hardy Venom somehow is in the MCU, like we saw that with Danny Rojas, Ted Lasso. But I feel like Sony's like, hey, I got a great idea. It's like, well, what are you going to do with that? I don't know.
Right.
And it's like, don't leave me hanging. This was cool.
Right.
And then we get something like Madam Web, where the director was talking, and I'm sorry, I don't remember who's directing it. It was like, oh yeah, originally we wanted Andrew Garfield to be the Spider-Man that was involved in it.